It seems like Rachel Lamb is getting more rotten by the minute, but let's look at this real quick and see what is going on with Rotten Rachel and how many more people are going to come forward.
So what's coming forward in some of the whistleblowers that are speaking about Daystar is the atrocious behavior, mainly of Rachel, that that she just had a culture of fear around her. She would be upset.
Girl,
There's
you
even been
mean.
allegations, strong allegations of her drug use, prescription, not even being able to work. So I don't know when you were there as
everybody got
opposed to these
issues.
other people, but can you describe, first of all, they would say it was terrorizing to work for Joni. And I don't think you had that impression. You were in a different category that I've heard, but it was really scary to work for Joni, but it was really even worse to work around Rachel.
Yeah.
And I'd love to get your take on the family dynamics, including Rebecca and Jonathan.
Yeah, I did not work directly for Joni. I worked, sort of parallel. So I didn't have
Morgan.
her, I didn't directly report to her at any time.
Thank you,
So no, I
Morgan.
didn't have what people are describing. But I certainly had that, underlying fear of disappointing the Lambs. But I did work with Rachel and I did work with Jonathan. Rebecca was still young when I was there. She was still, I think, in high school. So she only came around occasionally. So I did not have, I don't even know that I've met Rebecca in person, but Jonathan and Rachel I have both worked with. I'll start with Jonathan. I always thought Jonathan was exceptionally meek and mild and sort of a black sheep in that way because he was so very different from the.
Now, doesn't it seem like there's a theme going on here? Everybody thinks Jonathan is this cool, mild, meek person. Nobody has anything bad to say about him. Then on the other hand,
Rest of the family. And I will confess that I saw that as a weakness in him at that time. I thought that he was going to be eaten alive by them. I see now that he has found his strength in that. And I'm so proud of him and I'm so thankful for that because meekness is probably the greatest strength in a person. But he was very kind. He was very interested in learning. When I worked with him, he had just started there full time. And his father had tasked him to sort of apprentice every department, to work with him to understand the operations of Daystar, to understand how it works, how it was successful. So during his time that he apprenticed with the marketing department, he didn't come in and tell us what to do. He didn't come in and say, why are you doing it that way? He just absorbed. He was like a sponge. He wanted to hear, he wanted to know, he would ask questions. He just seemed like he was genuinely interested in the success of the organization and genuinely interested in how he can continue that. And I always really liked him. Super nice guy, easy to talk to, that kind of guy. Contrasting to that would be Rachel. At the time that I was there, Rachel was in college. And so she wasn't there all the time, but when she would come in, he just seemed like he was genuinely interested in the success of the organization and genuinely interested in how he can continue that. And I always really liked him. Super nice guy, easy to talk to, that kind of guy. Contrasting to that would be Rachel. At the time that I was there, Rachel was in college. And so she wasn't there all the time, but when she would come in, she would come straight to the marketing department. That was her favorite. And my understanding is she's now the marketing director there. But she would sort of come in with pet projects, these little ideas that she would have. I want to do some kind of Christmas special, or I want to do this photo shoot for this, or whatever it was.
And so these Christmas specials, the photo shoots, all of these pet projects, it's donors that pay for this, right? Like when you tell people, oh, sow in your last $1,000 and God will bless you with 10,000 more. that's where their money's going, right? It's not like it's advancing the kingdom. They're actually making donations just so you can have all these lavish projects. And you know what? I just seen that she posted that she was like right front row at the Dallas Cowboys game. So I'm pretty sure that people making donations are paying for her to go to the Dallas Cowboys game and sit right in the front. But anyways, let's see. Let's see more about her projects.
And it didn't matter what else was on our plate. It didn't matter the priority of those things or deadlines. Hers had to take priority. And I would ask, by this point, Jeanette was gone. And I would ask the others in the department, does she have the authority to tell us to just drop everything? Is this okay? And everybody was just kind of like, oh, it's Rachel. What do you do? She was very, very unreasonable, very demanding, sort of silly. And again, over these little pet side projects that really had nothing.
Can you imagine the amount of people that are going to be coming forward? If you want to email me, email me. We can get it out there too. Like everybody who has had an issue with these people treating them bad, this is supposed to be a Christian ministry. You're not supposed to be treated badly at a Christian ministry.
To do with the objective and trajectory of the network. It was more just things she wanted to do personally, and would just demand that we drop everything in order to make those things happen. It was insulting, honestly, to those of us with degrees and who had worked really hard to be where we were. By the time that Rachel came along, I had been promoted to art director there, and I was really proud of that. I'd worked really hard to get there, and she would come in and just, it was like nothing else mattered. And we dreaded it. We dreaded it when she showed up. Absolutely.
Did you ever see her mistreat or speak nastily to people?
Oh, yes. Mostly to the production people.
Now, Rachel, who do you think you are treating people bad? Girl, that's why everything's about to come crashing down on you. I know you guys think that because you have so much money or because your nonprofit is holding so much money that it's not going to come crashing down on you, but there's not going to be an escape to this. People are going to continue to write in, to email in, to come on shows like this and expose you. And eventually you're gonna see. This is crazy.
The people in the studio, again, we were up on the third floor, locked away behind closed doors, so you had to make an effort to come up to where we were. But down in the studio, yes, she was unreasonable and demanding. She would yell, she would sort of throw temper tantrums, just behavior not of a mature adult at all.
We can tell that you throw these temper tantrums, can't we? We can tell she throws these temper tantrums because of the way that she rages on X, because of the stupid posts that she makes on X. She literally reminds me of me when I was like 13, maybe even a little older. I don't know. But still, she's married with children. She's supposed to be helping her mother run this organization, run this ministry, and she's acting like an idiot on X. Woman, 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 woman.
Very hard. And did you see her reactions and interaction with Jonathan at all?
Only when the family was together. Again, it was that perfect lamb family picture that they always painted when they were together. I never witnessed the two of them working together, but it was well known within the company that Rachel, really resented the fact that Jonathan would inherit the company. She just made it very clear that she felt like he wasn't worthy of it, that she was much more suited for that role, that he wasn't competent enough for it. And, that was just the underlying baseline of how she operated and how she treated people. I should be running this place. This is my empire.
It's such a shocking lack of self-awareness in that's coming out in all of these. That she one whistleblower basically said she really treated Jonathan badly, and you could see it. But others just the disdain, the bullying, the nastiness, like the ultimate mean girl. What one person called her, and to think that that type of behavior is leadership. Like it is so, it's certainly not godly leadership. A godly leader is a servant, loving, kind, long-suffering, patient, has self-control. And so it's shocking to hear all these stories coming out, because honestly, 3-4 weeks ago, I didn't know her from a hole in the wall. I really didn't.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
It felt to me like Daystar was her playground. And there were no guardrails. There was nobody saying, hey, Rachel, no, we're not doing that. So she just, if she said it and she wanted it, it happened. It didn't matter budget. It didn't matter time.
You can't tell me that this doesn't seem like it could be a documentary down the road. Like she could have snapped and paid someone to off her family. I don't know what the proper word for that would be here, but she seems that evil, doesn't she? Like when you look at everything together and you look at the posts that she's been making and you look at the way that she's been treating people, it's like the perfect brewing to create a really good scary movie, but not a good scary movie. You know what I mean? But this is real. This is real life. This little
Timeline, it didn't matter other projects or deadlines. It was like Rachel decided she wanted this. And so that was just, it was degrading, honestly, and frustrating because, you know, I used to joke that we were like a fire department. There would be times where in the marketing department we were at a lull, and then there were times where it was all hands on deck because we served the production team by creating the on-air graphics for their live show, which is called Ministry now, but at the time it was called Celebration. And Marcus would walk in 5 minutes before going live and tell Rose, his producer, here's what God told me we're going to talk about today. And Rose would call up to us and say, we need the following graphics. And so we would drop everything, to get everything prepped for on air within just seconds. And so it wasn't just for that show, but many things like that is how it was operated. And so it just felt really degrading to us when Rachel could just come in and just completely usurp that and say, no, this is what I want now. And I don't care what your priorities are, your deadlines, or your projects. It doesn't matter. Do what I want. That was exceptionally frustrating. On top of the fact that at the time she was 19, 20, 21. She was very, very young.
Did you ever meet her future husband, Josh Brown?
No, I did not. He came along after I was gone.
Okay. One of the things later, one of the people, said that they do these family, baby showers and lingerie showers that have to be edited. A lingerie shower does not, to me, feel very like it should fit into the ministry. I mean, you got to do a lot of editing.
I don't know. We're looking forward to the next one, right? The next person to come forward. I know there's going to be a lot. Send them to Laura-Lynn. Send them in. Send them in. Send them in.